Hello everyone, welcome to StudyIQ. So we will continue our discussion on history. Okay, last session we have discussed up to August offer. So we have done till August offer 1940. Okay, I've discussed about you the context of August offer and the main contents of August offer and the individual satyagrahas which was launched after August offer. When the Congress rejected August offer, individual satyagrahas were launched. Okay, see, if you have any doubt in any of the discussion, you can get in touch with me here. This is my Instagram ID. You can join the Telegram channel for getting all the videos. Now, before that, we have actually talked about Government of India Act 1935, then election held after that in 1937, 28 months of Congress rule, the achievements and everything we have covered. Then we have started off with World War II from 1939 to 1945, and during this time there was a major debate, there was a major question which was going on with respect to Indian troops involvement in World War II. Like in case of World War I also this discussion was there, and I've told you Home Rule League movement at that time supported, Congress was also supporting the Indian troops involvement in World War I, subject to certain condition that the British government should repay it back in terms of further devolution of power once the war gets over. Here also that same question is there, whether you need to support the Indian troops involvement in World War II. Okay, and now a Congress working committee in the Varda session of 1939 Varda session passed a resolution. In that, Congress working committee decided to support the Indian troops involvement in World War II subject to two conditions. The condition was that there should be immediate substantial devolution of power even before the Indian troops are involved in the war. So if you remember, there is a difference in case of World War I and World War II here. At that time, it was substantial devolution of power once the war gets over. Here, even before the Indian troops are going to be involved in World War II, you need substantial devolution of power. Secondly, once the war gets over, there should be a constituent assembly to transfer the power to Indians. So these are two conditions. Initially in 1939 when this resolution was passed, actually it was rejected by the British government. It was actually ignored by the government. But then I've told you how the war went on, right? Once it was started from 1939 to 1945, in the initial phase 1939 to 1942, the Axis powers were emerging as victorious. I've told you Axis powers comprising of Germany, Italy and Japan. On the other side, Britain, France, Soviet Union, and later US also joined. And in the first 9 months itself, the Germany was able to capture France, Belgium and Holland. So at that time, British government actually understood that this is not going to be a short-term war. This is going to be a long-time war. And as soon as the Germans captured France, the French colonies in Asia came under the control of Japan, like Laos, Cambodia. Okay, all these areas came under the Japanese. Okay, and also they were able to capture Korea, eastern part of China, and Indo-China region came under their control. So they faced a major problem here. So they are in need of the support of Indians. So after 9 months, once the war started, because of these setbacks, so they came up with August offer. So if you remember, in 1939 when Varda session the resolution was passed, it was ignored. They were never ready for any negotiation. Now they're ready for negotiation. They came up with August offer. So in which context they came up with August offer? The war started. They started facing setbacks in the first 9 months. So exactly after 9 months in 1940 August, they came up with the August offer. What are the offers? Like first one was Dominion status, and dominion status was actually demand of Congress from 1905 onwards. Even in Motilal Nehru report also 1928 this was the demand, but 1929 onwards we are looking for Purna Swaraj or complete independence. So we rejected August offer solely because of this point. Mainly because of this point we rejected, because this is no more our demand. What is our demand? Our demand is complete independence or Purna Swaraj. Okay, and the significance of this offer is, this is for the first time ever that the British is offering dominion status to India, similar to white colonies. And the second provision was any new constitution will be formed only with the consent of minorities. So that provision was basically to turn the Muslim League against the Congress, the reasons and everything, logic, and I've told you. Third was there will be a constituent assembly which is going to be set up once the war gets over, and which will comprise mainly of Indians. So there will be a constituent assembly with mainly Indians. And if you remember, I have encircled mainly at that time itself, and I've told you here I am encircling the word mainly. It is mainly of Indians. Most of the Indians will be there. But when we discuss about Cripps Mission, again there will be a constituent assembly. One of the provision will be again constituent assembly after the war, but not mainly, that will be solely of Indians. So today I'm going to talk about Cripps Mission. There I'm going to tell the same point. So constituent assembly is here and there also, but there is a difference. What is the difference? Here it is mainly of Indians, there it is solely of Indians. Dominion status is here, dominion status will come there also. So actually out of the 3 points which I'm going to discuss about cabinet, the Cripps Mission, I've discussed two already. One is related to dominion status and one is related to constituent assembly. Only difference is solely of Indians. Then the other one is related to, some states, if they don't wish to join the union, they can stay independent. Okay, that we are going to discuss after some time. Okay, so I hope this is clear for all of you. 1939 war started. After 9 months, when they started facing setbacks, they came up with the offer, that was August offer, and failure of August offer led to individual satyagraha. And I've told you why not a mass movement, why individual satyagraha. Around 15,000 people marched to Delhi. They have gone for anti-war declaration. Because why no mass movement? Because at this point of time, Congress did not want to close any possibility of open negotiation with the British government. Okay, so to show the dissatisfaction, individuals can go for satyagraha. So that's what happened. So failure of August offer, individual satyagraha. Now here we are going to discuss about Cripps Mission. Failure of Cripps Mission led to Quit India movement. So let me talk about Cripps Mission here. And what is the context of Cripps Mission? I've told you first 9 months setbacks, so came up with August offer. That 1939 to 1942, if you remember, I've told you during this phase the Axis powers were emerging as victorious. So I told you already, Japan was able to capture Korea, eastern part of China, and they have reached Burma also. And they were making so much problems in Burma. So the British forces in Burma were facing setbacks, and that led to gradual withdrawal of British force also from Burma. So a British invasion of India seemed imminent at this point of time. So British government was worried about this. So they are now in need of support of Congress and Indians. So they came up with Cripps Mission under Stafford Cripps. So under what conditions? There is a condition, 1942, Japan emerging victorious in this area, British forces facing major setbacks, a British invasion of India was imminent, seemed imminent, so they came up with Cripps Mission. Okay, so let me now talk about Cripps Mission under Stafford Cripps. Stafford Cripps. Okay, so what are the provisions under this? The first one, as I've already told you, the Constituent Assembly after the war. Okay, so it will be only Indians, solely of Indians. Then second one was dominion status. Third one was those provinces, if they don't want to join with the Indian Union, they can remain as a separate union. Okay, so that was the third provision. So let me write down these three provisions. So Constituent Assembly would be set up once the war gets over. It will be solely of Indians. So this has to be very clear to you. The main difference, there it was mainly, here it is solely, but Constituent Assembly was common. Second point, dominion status, same thing. Third one, those provinces which do not want to join Indian Union could form a union of their own. Okay, so these are the 3 points which was in Cripps Mission that you need to remember. So if you get a question like this, which among the following is correct with respect to Cripps Mission? Constituent Assembly solely of Indians, correct. Dominion status, yes, correct. Now instead of this I can give you another statement, right to secede. Okay, so right to secede, is it correct? Yes, it is correct, because this talking about right for secession. That means if you don't want to join India, you can remain as a separate union. That means it was given the right to secede or right to secession. So Jawaharlal Nehru actually argued that this will lead to balkanization of country, and because of these two it was rejected by Congress. Dominion status anyway was not accepted by Congress. This was also not accepted by Congress. Because of this, Cripps Mission was rejected. There is no problem with the first one. Constituent Assembly would be set up after the war. That was actually the resolution passed in Varda session, and it should be solely of Indians, only Indians. That is actually good only. So there is no problem with respect to the first one. But Dominion status and right to secession was not accepted by Congress, and Cripps Mission was rejected on the ground of that. And rejection of Cripps Mission led to Quit India movement. And when we talk about Quit India movement, it was started in August 8, and in August 9 itself, all the major Congress leaders were imprisoned. The main leader was actually Gandhi. Gandhi was declared as the leader, and in Quit India movement, they gave a call for do or die. That means there is no true struggle strategy which is going to happen now. Only struggle victory strategy. This is going to be the last movement, and there won't be any further mass movement after this. So do or die call was given, and it was actually a violent movement. And August 9, the next day, all the major leaders were arrested. So the responsibility of leading this movement was left out with the middle level leadership like Aruna Asaf Ali, Usha Mehta, Kripalani. Okay, let me write about Quit India movement. So Quit India movement 1942. So August 8, 1942, launched from Bombay. Movement was launched from Bombay. Who was the leader? Gandhi was declared as the leader and gave a call for do or die. And August 9, what happened? The top leaders of Congress were arrested. Top leaders of Congress arrested. Okay. Now you can see boycott of British goods, liquor, picketing, and all those were the strategies. Boycott British goods. Okay, liquor shops picketed. Okay, so the responsibility of leading the movement was in the hands of middle level leadership. So the main leaders were Aruna Asaf Ali, Sucheta Kripalani, Usha Mehta, etc. Okay, so what is the significance of this? This was the largest movement so far, and that is what we have discussed when we discussed about each movement. During the time of Swadeshi movement, that was the largest at that time. The non-cooperation movement, that was the largest at that time. Civil disobedience movement, at that time, that was the largest. Now this is the largest mass movement, and women contribution was so high here, and it was not the major leaders. You can see new face in the leadership of Congress during this movement, and it gave a call for do or die, and it was a violent movement, a mass upsurge, you can see. Okay, and simultaneously INA also we will discuss 1942. Quickly I'll discuss about INA trial we will have to do separately. So INA, how INA forces was formed. Actually, you know, when Japan captured Burma, when they reached Burma, British forces withdrawn from Burma, so Indian soldiers were left out there. So Indian soldiers were actually imprisoned by the Japanese forces, and one of the soldiers, Mohan Singh, gave promise to the Japanese that, you know, they will help to overthrow British from India along with Japanese soldiers or with Japanese help. Okay, so around 15,000 Indian soldiers was there. With these 15,000 soldiers, INA was formed, and they actually reached eastern part of India, and along with Japanese forces and INA together fought a battle with English. And the speciality of that battle was that the only one war which was fought in India was that one. What was that? Battle of Kohima. So this was the only one war which was fought in India during World War II. It was between Japanese and English, along with Japanese forces, along with INA army. Okay, there was some problems, like Japanese soldiers started treating Indian soldiers secondary, and that led to a lot of discontentment among the Indian army. And also there was a thinking among the INA people that, you know, what will happen once British were overthrown from India. Whether Japanese invasion is going to happen or not is a question, and Japanese people were more cruel than British. Okay, so that was again a big question. And in 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose actually assumed the leadership of INA, and he formed a provincial Indian government in Rangoon. Okay, so provincial Indian government in Rangoon by Subhash Chandra Bose. He landed in Andaman and unfurled the Indian flag, and provincial government was formed. Okay, so landed in Andaman, unfurled Indian flag. Okay, and Bose also clarified that Subhash Chandra Bose and INA will come to India only with the consent of the Congress, only under the leadership of Congress and Gandhi. And after 1943, Japanese forces started facing major setbacks, and Japanese army actually withdrawn from eastern part of India. So these INA army was left out in the eastern part of India. They were captured by the British and they were put on trial, and that's what the famous INA trial. We will be discussing this in a separate discussion. Next video I'll be talking about INA trial. INA trial and Rin mutiny we will discuss separately. Okay, because this is a possible mains question, INA, and we will see the Congress leaders who defended the case, the INA victims who tried publicly, and INA week celebration, INA day, all those things, and how it connected with emotions of the people at that time, and how INA led to Rin mutiny. All these things will discuss in the next video. So I hope this is clear for all of you. So if the question is asked about impact of World War II on Indian freedom struggle, that we are actually addressing this particular question, discuss the impact of World War II on Indian freedom struggle. You have to talk about August Offer, you have to talk about Cripps Mission. All are connected to INA, Rin mutiny, the cabinet mission plan, Wavell plan. Everything is actually connected with World War II. As I've told you already, why August Offer came? Because you need the support of Indian troops involvement or Congress. Okay, and for that, after 9 months, British government realized that they are going to face major setbacks and this war is going to be a long-term affair. So you need the support of Congress, so they came up with August Offer. Why in 1942 Cripps Mission came? Again, they are facing the same problem. 1942, they're facing the problem. Later, Wavell plan. Why? Under the pressure of US. Because again, even though US managed Japan, but still Germany surrendered, but still Japanese forces are still there. Okay, so we'll come to that in the next video. So if you have any doubt, you can get in touch with me here. This is my Instagram ID. You please join this Telegram channel for all the videos. Okay, so see you guys. Thank you.